Hey everybody, Mr. Cox here, Mrs. Cox.
Hey guys.
All right, this is about our 5th attempt to make this video because Mr. Cox, I keep rambling on, and so I want to keep it super simple. We wanted to explain to you a little bit about our new schedule that we just released and the importance of it. If you went to our gala, you heard about this, and we wanted to kind of share it with everyone here so you can always have a point of reference to go back to. Now, why did we change the schedule up at all? Well, the main reason is to help our school grow. We want you guys to grow, and we want to help make the best black belts possible. We surveyed a lot of students. We surveyed a lot of black belts. I called 3 of the biggest schools in the U.S., 2 being ATA, 1 outside of ATA, and I asked them what they did to really help with retention and to create great black belts. And basically, I was on the same page with them. Is pretty much what we've changed to try to do. Now, Ms. Cox is going to explain the difference between basic leadership into becoming a black belt and what that looks like. And you might see our little cat Khaleesi roaming around. So if you do, just know that.
She likes the camera.
Okay, go ahead.
So first of all, I want to explain the difference between an introductory class, introductory training, which is our tigers, and also our white to green classes. And that is, you learn the basic fundamentals of Taekwondo, learning all these different things. And if you're not in leadership, you are in, 2 times a week. Now, once you're in leadership, you get to do a lot more training. In our old schedule, you have the basic, your regular classes, and then you have another additional class for that specific day, whatever it may be, leadership classes to train. And also with our leadership, you get unlimited classes. Now, so as we looked at our data, look at our how our purple and up are training, this is where we kind of looked at it as a staff as a whole, and we've talked to other parents that are purple and above, how can we help them to get to the next level? Again, the introductory and basic training, you learn the fundamentals, right? It's kind of like you're going to college, and then, okay, these are my basic. And then leadership is more of like, okay, I want to be an engineer. I've done all this stuff. Now let's take it to a different level where I learn specific things that is geared towards that engineering part of the degree. So that's kind of how we describe our leadership program. On our leadership program, you get more training for our students. As you all know, as kids get to purple belt, or a person gets into purple belt, obviously techniques are getting harder, forms are getting longer. It requires a lot of training, a lot of focus. It requires a little bit more of time, memorization of the form, or it takes a lot. And so what we did is to change that to more, okay, well, we'll require all our purple belts now to be in leadership so they could get more training, longer classes, and to help them prepare to become a black belt. So hopefully, with us changing it, but then also we also wanted to do this to help our parents with timing. As you can see, all our leadership classes or our leadership training is incorporated to their actual traditional class. And we'll explain it more, how how the class structure and why we did the 50-minute versus the 35-minute classes for purple belt and above. But first I want to explain as far as our leadership focuses on each day. So on Mondays, we have the legacy and the teaching?
Leadership development.
Mm-hmm. And then on Tuesdays, our focus is extreme forms. This is where you go take your traditional form and take it to another level.
An extreme level.
That may be, doing cartwheels or all those crazy stunts that Mr. Shaw and all these other young ones do. And on Wednesdays, extreme forms, taking your normal sanjabong and learning how to release it, doing all this, I don't know, what do you call that?
Cracking, extreme weapons.
Yes. Thursdays is combat sparring and sparring. So each day has its own leadership focus.
Yep. So again, the idea is the class times are going to be a little bit longer, and the 50 minutes allows us to dive deeper. So think about it, instead of having all those different leadership classes that you can maybe only come to one of them a week, now we're incorporating them into our classes already, so parents don't have to worry about bringing them to 5 different classes. And being 50 minutes long allows us to do that very, very easily, because a 50-minute long class is way easier than doing a 35-minute class, bowing out, lining up a new group, bowing in, explaining it, starting all over again. Then you'll only get about 20, 30 minutes of training. So that one block is going to allow a lot of exposure. So what happens is, if you're a white through green belt and you're in leadership, then during the last part of your class, instructor will take you aside and work with you specifically on your leadership training focus for that day. If you're purple and up, the whole class is in leadership, so it allows the instructors to expose the whole class to that specific thing for that day. And sometimes we might make it a whole week focused on one thing, but it really allows us time to dive deeper and to expose them to everything leadership has to offer. On Thursdays, what we're going to do a little bit different is for sparring. Thursdays, every class, if you have sparring gear, you're going to line up with your sparring gear on. The first half of the class will be dedicated towards sparring and combat sparring. The last half of the class will be dedicated towards forms, self-defense, safety. If you're in that weird group where you're a yellow belt that doesn't have sparring gear, you'll still focus on those sparring drills. You just won't spar a person until you have gear. It's a great thing. Again, it all makes us prepared to have better black belts, but more importantly, to really, again, I'll say this a lot, to expose you to all the major benefits leadership has to offer, and you as parents don't have to come to 7 different classes now. Really, your leadership student can train just twice a week. That's all they'll need.
Mm-hmm. And also another benefit of our new leadership program, I know a lot of people ask, hey, you know, I'm paying just for a 50-minute class before I have 2 classes. But I'm telling you that leadership cost includes, this is for the new leadership, you know, membership, not the grandfathered one, but the new ones. Your testing fees are included. And also, with that being said, when you're in leadership, what is it?
You get state champ program, you get more advanced drills on the app, more videos on the app, but more importantly, just your curriculum itself. The biggest misconception is that when you buy into leadership, emotionally, physically, and financially, that you're paying for more classes. That is not what leadership's ever been about. Leadership is about the curriculum. And because only some people are in leadership, some weren't, we could never dive super deep into it unless you were in the leadership only classes. And again, only about half of our leadership students were able to come to them because of scheduling. And of the half that did come, they usually only came to 1 time a week. So we eliminated those, put them in a traditional class, expanded it out. So now what you're paying for, that program, that curriculum, the heartbeat of it, your students are going to get exposed to every day when they come. Plus, your testing fees are included, which is a big savings.
Basically, you'll still get more training, a deeper training in just one class.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So that's why we're doing it. Now, again, if for some reason we try it out and it doesn't work out, then we'll go back to the way we were doing it. But we're going to give it at least 1 or 2 testing cycles to really get some good feedback on it. And at the end of the day, though, we are sticking with purple belt and above have to be in leadership, because the idea is very simple, that once you achieve purple belt, you've been introduced to everything we have to offer on a basic introductory level. Now it's time for us to dive deeper in with you with all the other curriculum we have and to prepare you for black belt. And the only way to really do that is to be in leadership.
And also, this also helps us help you grow in your Taekwondo journey.
Yeah,
you know, a
absolutely.
lot of people, when they come to purple belt class, it gets harder. When things get harder, you don't really get a lot of that training, or, you know, I don't want it. It's easy for our students to give up, but whenever there's always okay, there's more, you know, it gets them excited and all that stuff. But if we do it all together, I think it really helps. Also, with doing things together with our new schedule, if you're an adult and you have a student and you're kind of on the same belt and everything, you are more than welcome now to go and train on any of the classes. Say, for example, you have a son or your daughter that is a white belt and you're an adult and you want to train as well. You don't have to go and wait for adult class. You can train on their classes. Or the same thing, if you're both in purple belt, then you can train in the purple belt classes. So any age.
Yeah, so basically the easy way to say it is all ages can go to any of the rank specific classes. In Jiu-Jitsu as well. Jiu-Jitsu, you can go to any Jiu-Jitsu class no matter what your age is. The only difference, you have to be inside that rank group. The only exception being adult class is for 12 years and up only, because we will work on specific things for adults in that class that we don't, when we use certain language that we don't want to use around kids. Not like, I'm not saying like bad language, so like as far as talking about attackers, defending yourself, how to incapacitate someone. So that's for adults only. But yeah, we want all ages can come to any class. We've been doing it in Conroe for a long time. Magnolia has really gotten into it that much. So we're publicly telling you guys, hey, if your whole family signs up, they can all come to the white to orange belt class. If you're a purple belt, you can all train together. Whatever it is, it's all together.
All right.
Yeah, that's all we got. Last but not least, to really emphasize how excited we are about our Jiu-Jitsu program, if you're a leadership student for the whole month of January, you can train in our Jiu-Jitsu program for free. As many classes as you want. You just have to wear, you can wear your white uniform, black uniform, or teacher bag, or whatever.
We advise though that don't use your white uniform because you'll be rolling on the ground.
You'll get very fast. But you can try it out, and once you join the program, you'll get your official Jiu-Jitsu gi. Now, Jiu-Jitsu is a separate cost altogether. So if you're in leadership, it's just a small additional cost. If you're not in leadership, it's a full price for the Machado Association. So more of that to come. But yeah, come try it out. It'll be great.
All right. That's it.
Thank you. Bye, guys.